post-Vegas summer.
Rich, what specifically made you want to choose here in Manhattan Heights to build this new center?
We've got a lot of connections to Providence, Rhode Island. You know, as you're from Joe Mazzulla, was born and bred here, Cash Cannon, who leads our community efforts in so many ways. And actually having a group of people who were kind of able to accept the help. Amika's based here. That meant a lot to us to do something in their state and to them. And we're always trying to kind of, I guess, grow the amount of community that we touch. So obviously we do a lot in Boston. We've done a lot in Lawrence over the years. So coming down to Providence is just a good extension of the effort.
This is one of Tatum's first appearances in a public event after his injury.
It is.
How do you see him? How is he doing? Also
Well,
here, you know?
He's gone from walking around in a boot and just kind of wiggling his toes as a rehab to, as you see him today, he's walking around a little more freely. That's obviously very encouraging to all of us at the Celtics. He's such a special guy, such a special player, but also a special person, you know, so we're just all, you know, in his court rooting for him to, like, you know, get back, come back, and it's seeing him progress. It's funny when you go out to our practice facility, you're like, oh, he's walking today. You know, he doesn't have a boot on today. These are all like little milestones in what's a pretty grueling process for him. But it's great to see him out at something like this and you know, giving back to the community.
Now there's new additions to the team. A couple very young players.
Yeah.
How is that? Why are the choices that the Celtics is making now?
Well, you know, I think we were in a period of time where we were, you know, clearly in a window where we felt like we had a championship contending team. We had a payroll. It was a championship contending payroll. We had sort of planned it out such that we could go for it for a couple of years, but then knew that second apron was coming. Sorry about that. And that caused us to have to make some moves, which we made, and we feel good about the transactions. We feel good about what we were able to get back. We feel good about the new players we're bringing in. None of us have seen them together on the court as a team yet, so it's a little bit hard to really project what it's going to look like. It'll look a little different than it has, but we're excited about it. I think the great thing about it's always tough to get over for the Celtics not winning a championship, you know, or not getting to the conference finals or the finals. But the great thing about what we do is it's a new chapter every year. You know, you get to sort of open a new chapter to the book, and I think it's going to be a good year. I feel good about our team. I feel good about, like, the vibe, and everyone's sort of taking on the challenge. So so we'll see how it happens.
How do you see that with the team, you know, the teammates meeting these new additions and merging together? How they used to be with so many players for so many years.
Yeah, well, I think it starts at Summer League. You know, they haven't been on the court together. They haven't practiced together yet, the vets and the young guys. But all the vets, you know, show up at Summer League. They support the young guys, which is really great to see. And then, you know, as we get closer to September, guys will start coming back, getting shots up and being in the gym more. And then you'll start to see it come together. You start to see what the chemistry of the team might look like, what the culture of the team might look like. And it'll be interesting. It's a bit of an unknown, but, you know, we've still got, obviously, JB and Derek White coming back and Peyton Pritchard. We've got some really good, talented players, Sam Hauser. So we feel good. It's, you know, a lot of it's known, but we'll see how it all comes together.
Do you think the team's all set with its roster right now going into the season, or are there more big moves?
No, I think largely we're all set. You know, I never would rule out anything because we're always trying to find ways to improve the team. But for now, I think we're in a good place, you know, ready to go for the season.
Rich, obviously, all the change and stuff, but you still have Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown on the team. Jaylen Brown, who's ready to go next season after everything in his own. Like, how important is his individual leadership going to be for this team with JT? Like,
yeah, I think it's, you know, it's important. It's important for all the players, right? We always sort of say, you know, kind of be, you know, a leader in whatever role you're in, and you know, JB's an inspirational leader for the team. He has been. I think he's the vet. I think that, you know, other players, particularly the younger players, will look to him to set a tone. The thing I always appreciate about JB is he's got a nice, healthy chip on his shoulder, right? You know, if he looks into the season and says, you know, this is, you know, I'm going to take it upon myself to actually, you know, help this team win and do what it takes. So, yeah, so looking forward to that. But I think any player who comes into the sort of Celtics environment, there's really, and I don't try to romanticize this at all, but there's a really good culture you're kind of stepping into. Joe does an amazing job with the players individually and collectively, and I think by the time, you know, we break camp, we'll be in good shape.
Peyton said the other day that he expects to contend for a championship, that that's the aspiration. What is your reaction to kind of knowing where the roster's at, that you hear one of your returning players kind of have that mindset?
That's great. I mean, I just love it. I mean, Peyton's a fighter. He's same thing, chip on the shoulder. He's like, you know, he's like, no one's going to tell us we're not competing for a championship, so we're going to go out there and that's what we're going to do. So I love it, and I think that breeds confidence in others, and that's a form of leadership, signaling to everyone else on the team like we're going for it. So I'm happy about that.
What do you think of Tags getting into the WNBA game?
Well, I'm probably not going to comment about the WNBA stuff because it's not, to my knowledge anyway, it's not done, and it's really in the league's hands. So we're big supporters of the W. You know, we've spent a lot of time working with the Connecticut Sun, trying to help them when they play games in Boston, but even when they're not, just sort of sharing best practices and things like that with them. And obviously the W is at a great place in its evolution right now. I mean, it couldn't be hotter, it couldn't be more relevant. So it's cool to see that growth, and it's cool to see that, you know, there's so much interest in whether it's the Connecticut Sun or an expansion franchise. So it's really been great to see how that's really unfolded over the last like 3 to 5 years.
Which we can't predict the future, obviously, but if Jayson were to be cleared to play with, say, a month to go, is the organization prepared to put him on the floor if he's fully cleared?
Yeah, that's a down the road question, John. I think, you know, that's one you can't really answer today. But what I know about JT is he's going to do everything he can to put us in a position to make a decision. He's going to work hard to get back as soon as he can, and we'll see how soon that is. But for right now, we're not really looking at timetables.
Last question.
What's the message to the fans? That might be a little doubtful right now with all these changes in the team and seeing, you know, a new NBA championship soon.
Well, I think, you know, for our fans, in any scenario with our team, you're going to see a team that's out there working as hard as possible to win. And I don't think it's inconceivable that we will be a good team and a good winning team this year. So I'm not sure it's going to be like the step down that people maybe, you know, anticipate. And for every indicator that we have, people are really excited. There's been nothing that sort of, even though we kind of lost in disappointing fashion, and, you know, JT's injury was tough for fans and for everyone. The excitement is there. I mean, we'll be sold out for the whole year again, and I think, you know, fans will be in for, you know, every time they come to the Garden, it's going to be, you know, they're going to get their money's worth.
Thank you.